The belief you trust most is the one that keeps you weak. You think your feelings are proof of truth. You think your past is an honest witness. You think comfort is safety. That belief is the reason you are losing time, energy, and opportunity. Staying comfortable will cost you more than any calculated risk you refuse to take. If you cannot challenge your most familiar state, your future will be a repetition of your past. You know this. You feel it. You see it every year that looks like the last. Here's the part you are not taught. Your reality is not a neutral screen that reflects your life back to you. Your nervous system constructs it. You do not see with your eyes. You see with your predictions. The brain is a machine that anticipates patterns, then filters evidence to confirm them. That is why change feels impossible. You are defending a model that calls itself truth. You mistake recognition for accuracy. You were taught to trust identity over possibility, to protect consistency and call it integrity. That is the trap. The past is not who you are. It is what your neurons learn to expect. Joe Dispenza is controversial because he tells people something the status quo cannot monetize. Your thoughts and emotions train your biology. They select your attention. They govern your behavior. Change your state on purpose, and you change what your brain measures as real. If that sounds mystical to you, that is because you were trained to distrust your own agency. Let me draw a hard line. There are two types of people: observers and operators. Observers describe their mood, explain their past, and wait for motivation. Operators induce the state required by the result. They rehearse the future until it stops feeling foreign. They act while their nervous system is still catching up. One builds a case for why it is hard. The other builds evidence that it is happening. Which one are you? Dispenza's hidden method is not a secret ritual. It is a deliberate sequence for forcing the brain to upbeat. It combines mental rehearsal, elevated emotion, and decisive micro-evidence inside a tight time window. In a word, coherence. Thought and feeling aimed at one direction, repeated enough times to become the new default. The mechanism is not magic. It is neuroplasticity, prediction error, and reinforcement. Neurons that fire together wire together, and they wire faster when emotion is present. Stoicism understood this without neuroscience. Marcus Aurelius wrote that the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. Epictetus said we are not disturbed by events, but by our judgments about them. Evolutionary biology agrees. The brain predicts threat, reward, and social standing. It learns what to fear and what to pursue. It automates. It saves energy. That is efficient in the wild. It is expensive in a modern life where obsolete fear is your governor. Here is the counterintuitive claim that will offend your comfort. You do not need more time. You need 7 days of clean intensity. You do not need motivation. You need controlled state shifts. You do not need affirmation. You need proof of a new identity created on purpose and repeated daily. 7 days will not finish your life. It will show your brain where to aim. And once your brain sees new evidence, it stops resisting. It preserves what you prove, not what you promise. Wave 1. Awareness. Stop trusting your feelings as truth. Treat them as signals from old wiring. The default mode network narrates who you think you are. The salience network highlights what you decide matters. Right now, both are biased by yesterday. Confirmation bias keeps you stuck. You search for what matches the story you already like. The first move is to see the story running. When you feel an old emotion rise, say it plainly. This is a stored state. It is not a command. Name it and you separate from it. Now you can choose. Wave 2. Control. Breath controls state more reliably than thought. Slow nasal breathing with long exhales increases parasympathetic tone. That calms the body, which quiets the noisy narrative. When the body settles, the mind follows. Stoics practiced premeditatio, the rehearsal of challenge. Athletes practice visualization, Surgeons practice mental simulation. None of this is mystical. It is state-dependent learning. Rehearsal alters prediction. Wave 3. Mastery. Thought plus elevated emotion equals a memory without a past event. The brain marks that combination as important. You can use that. You select one identity outcome, not 10. 1. You picture it in specific sensory terms. You practice feeling the emotion that would accompany it. Pride without arrogance. Calm confidence without fantasy. Gratitude as if it already arrived. The emotion is the tag that tells your brain to keep it. Then you act in a way that aligns with it. Action converts dream to data. Here is the 7-day frame. It is not entertainment. It is an audit and a pressure test. Day 1. Interrupt the past. Identify the top 3 states that dominate your week. The ones that run you. Anxiety, resentment, lethargy. Name their triggers. Probe their narratives. When did they begin? What do they want you to do or avoid? Then design one physical pattern break you can use anytime they rise. Stand up, walk, breathe, change environment for 5 minutes. You are training your body that emotion is a suggestion, not your ruler. This is your first proof. Day 2. Quiet the narrator. Spend 2 sessions of 10 minutes in stillness. Eyes closed. Comfortable posture. Slow breath. Focus on the sensation of breathing. Count if you must. The goal is not relaxation for its own sake. It is leverage. You are lowering the volume of the default stories so that intention has space. If thoughts intrude, acknowledge and return. You are not failing. You are building attentional control. This is your second proof. Day 3. Select the identity, not a vague wish. A clear role with behaviors. Examples. I am a person who trains 5 days a week. I am a founder who ships 1 valuable action before noon. I am a learner who reads 40 focused minutes daily. Write 3 specific behaviors that would make this identity indisputable if someone watched you for a week. Now mentally rehearse those behaviors in first person. See the environment. Hear the sounds. Feel the decisions. Do this for 10 minutes morning and night. Then perform one of those behaviors today. This is your third proof. Day 4. Install elevated emotion on command. Choose one emotion that matches the identity. Confidence, gratitude, determination. Remember a time you felt it strongly. Recreate it in your body, shoulders, breath, muscles. Then pair the rehearsal from day 3 with that emotion, thought and feeling at once. The reticular activating system records this as a priority. You are teaching your brain what to look for and what to select. This is your fourth proof. Day 5. Hunt micro-evidence. The brain updates through prediction error. When something unexpected and beneficial happens, dopamine marks it for learning. Create your own prediction error by doing one uncomfortable action that aligns with the identity. Small but undeniable. Ask for the sale. Start the conversation. Decline a distraction. Complete the session you would normally skip, then write it down. Your nervous system respects objective proof. This is your fifth proof. Day 6. Reconsolidate. Memory is not a file. It is a process that updates when reactivated. In the evening, bring up a past limitation while you are in a calm state. Observe it. Do not justify it. Then overlay the new behavior and emotion. You are telling your brain that the old story no longer predicts the future. This breaks the link between trigger and old reaction. Sleep after this. Sleep is when the brain stabilizes new learning. This is your sixth proof. Day 7. Declare and protect. Set one boundary or constraint that locks the identity in. Remove one cue that pulls you back. Replace it with one cue that pulls you forward. Commit publicly to one behavior that makes regression costly. Machiavelli wrote that fortune favors those who appear decisive. People judge by outcomes. Your environment will either vote for the past or for the future. Design it to vote for the future. This is your seventh proof. This is not about superstition. It is about mechanisms. Here is what is happening under the surface. Hebbian learning. When you repeatedly pair a thought with an emotion and an action, those neurons increase their connection strength. It becomes easier to fire them next time. That is why repetition matters. Prediction error. The brain updates models when reality violates expectation. When you produce small wins that your old identity would not expect, you create learning moments. That is why microevidence matters. Reticular activating system. This is a filter for relevance. What you hold with intent and emotion becomes salient. You notice opportunities you would have ignored. You are not creating them from nothing. You are finally seeing them. Default mode network and salience network. Quieting the default mode reduces self-referential chatter. Elevating the right emotion while holding a clear intention shifts what the salience network flags as important. Interoception and vagal tone. Calm breath increases parasympathetic influence. That lowers noise from survival circuits. Decision-making improves. Focus sharpens. Memory reconsolidation. Old emotional memories become labeled when recalled. Pairing them with new meaning in calm state can weaken the old response. That frees behavior. This is why the method offends the comfortable. It puts you in charge. It removes the excuse that you need permission, or more time, or more information. It requires you to stop worshiping the sensation of authenticity when authenticity is just repetition. Stoicism cuts the same way. Focus on what is under your control. Let go of what is not. Dispenza's language may sound ambitious, but the engine is simple. Your biology obeys the inputs you give it most often. Do not confuse this with magical thinking. You cannot sit, feel good, and expect the world to rearrange itself. Machiavelli would call you naive. Appearances without force fail. Emotion without action is theater. The point of elevated emotion is to make the action feel natural now. The point of rehearsal is to remove hesitation. The point of micro-evidence is to create momentum your body believes. Your success will not arrive because you thought about it. It will arrive because you built a nervous system that treats success as normal. Binary contrasts create clarity. You can be a defender of your biography or an author of your trajectory. You can rehearse fear or rehearse courage. You can chase stimulation or train discipline. You can protect your old patterns or upgrade your predictions. There is no neutral. Every day votes for one side. If you feel resistance right now, good. That is your past protecting itself. It will use sophisticated arguments. It will quote your responsibilities. It will remind you of failures. It will pretend to be humble. See it for what it is. Status quo bias in a nice outfit. The only way to break it is to do the uncomfortable thing. Calm body, clear intention. Elevated emotion, immediate action. Record proof. People will tell you this is extreme, that you should be patient. That change takes years. Sometimes it does, but the initiation does not. 7 days of precision can tilt your trajectory. This is what most miss. They aim for total change and fail. Then they aim at nothing. Operators aim for undeniable proof in a short window. Once the brain updates, longer change becomes easier. Not because the world softened, because your prediction system did. You do not need permission to run this. You do not need a guru. You need seriousness. Your attention is the currency of your future. Spend it like a strategist, not a tourist. Keep your circle small. Tell one person who respects action what you are doing. Accept no emotional debate from people who have no results. Keep your metrics simple. Did you interrupt the past today? Did you rehearse? Did you feel the correct emotion on command? Did you create one piece of evidence? If the answer is yes, you are winning. If the answer is no, you are negotiating with your old self. Do not negotiate. A word on ethics. This method is for self-direction, not manipulation. Machiavelli observed the world without sentiment. Stoics mastered themselves first. If you are trying to control others, you are already out of control. Use this to become precise, not predatory. Real power is internal alignment. Your results will reflect that. Now the part that most will not hear. This approach is not mainstream because it is not scalable for the masses. It requires attention, introspection, and sovereignty. It cannot be consumed. It must be practiced. It is unpopular because it exposes the real cost of comfort. You will lose the entertainment of complaining. You will lose the social reward for staying the same. You will lose the identity that stands between you and the life you cannot stop imagining. That loss is worth it. If you are ready to operate, here is your call to action. For the next 7 days, run the sequence. Interrupt the past. Quiet the narrator. Select the identity. Pair thought with emotion. Produce micro-evidence. Reconsolidate at night. Declare and protect. Report your 7 proofs to yourself without drama. If you want to go further, build a second 7 days on the same identity. If you want to disappear into noise, close this and find a softer message. This channel is a filter. It is for the selective minority who prefer truth to comfort. If that is you, commit now in the comments with 1 line. State the identity you will prove in 7 days. No fluff, no slogans, then execute. You do not need more belief. You need proof. And once you have it, your nervous system will follow. Your reality will catch up. Observers wait for life to change so they can feel different. Operators feel different so they can change their life. Choose, then prove it.